Thank you, Minister, for coming to the House today to respond to my commencement matter, which is seeking an update on the regeneration of Dublin City Council flats on Dominic Street, on the west side of Dominic Street. Dominic Street is one of our oldest streets in the capital city. It runs from Parnell Street up to Dorset Street. It has been home to the Dominic Street flats for many decades. And back in about 2008, Dublin City Council first spoke about regeneration there. It took them far too long, but thankfully in the last 12 months, we have seen new homes, world-class homes, world-class having been world-class design standard, world-class quality homes having been built on the east side. In fact, there's 72 new homes. And it is really welcome, and Dublin City Council and the architects and the builders and everybody involved in that project is to be congratulated. However, Minister, as I said at the start, they first started talking about regeneration of Dominic Street back in 2008. And we're now in 2023. And since those new homes were opened on the east side of Dominic Street, the old flats, which were vacated and detenanted on the west side of the street, became a destination for antisocial behaviour. I want to commend the Gardaí in the North Inner City and Dublin City Council for engaging with me and residents and business owners, and for taking direct action to eliminate and tackle that antisocial behaviour. Those flats have been boarded up and have been secured, and while I would hesitate to ever say that all antisocial behaviour has been eliminated, it certainly has been greatly reduced, and that is very welcome. But now those flats, which have the potential to provide more than 90 homes, are boarded up and stand as a monument to inactivity. They stand as a monument to glacial progress. Minister, I'm seeking an update. I'm hoping you're coming to the House today with a positive update for this House, but more importantly, I suppose, for the city. That Dublin City Council is taking direct action to use that incredibly valuable asset that they own and hold in ownership for the people on Dominic Street, and that their plans to regenerate, to renovate those boarded up flats is on track and will be delivering homes very soon in the centre of our capital city. So I look forward to your reply. Gormagat.
And I really appreciate you bringing this up. I think this is an issue in an area you've been such a passionate advocate about, not just in this House, but previously in Dublin City Council. I think that deserves particular recognition. And I just wanted to update that Dublin City Council has advised the Department of Housing and Local Government that they are currently preparing a Stage 1 capital appraisal application for the refurbishment and generation of Dominic Street West. This Stage 1 capital appraisal application will be for the redevelopment of the 3 existing vacant blocks with the potential for at least 75 new homes. The project involves the remediation of 60 upper floor duplexes and the amalgamation of 30 ground floor bedsits which have been unoccupied and boarded up for some time. And Senator, if you might let me add, I think you've been very polite in your clarification of that. I would go far stronger. I think boarded up housing is a blight on our society, because they show where families could be living, where people could be living, and it doesn't matter whether it's on Dominic Street or in Ballyogan, my own constituency, or in Dundalk in the Chair's constituency. It's something that all of us take very personally. But the Department of Housing have not received a funding submission on this project yet, but would welcome all proposals on this project. The Council advised the Department that it is intended that the learnings from a recent Department of Public Expenditure, NDP delivery and reform-funded digital twin study project will help inform the energy approach to this project. The design team will also be seeking to achieve a balanced approach on biodiversity, retrofit and climate action requirements. This project is intended to act as a Dublin City Council flagship project for climate resilience. Extensive surveys and site investigations are currently underway on the vacant flats, and these buildings and site surveys will shape the vision and direction of this project. Current works on the site will include securing the car park to the rear of Dominic Street Lower, which you've referred to in relation to anti-social behaviour, erection of permanent hoarding to the front of the flats, and a greening project in the vacant car park. Dublin City Council advised that the feasibility study and order of magnitude costings for a deep retrofit approach have been completed, and the Stage 1 capital appraisal is almost complete. Consultant procurement and technical surveys are ongoing. The programme timeline is not, however, finalised, as the project is still at a feasibility stage. However, Dublin City Council advised that they expect to have a contractor on site, Senator, by the first quarter of 2026, and the Council advised that this project is part of a long-term strategy for the redevelopment and refurbishment of their older, most pressing complexes. I think all of us would be in agreement, Senator, in this House, that it is of an urgent importance, and we will ensure that the Department is on hand to give Dublin City Council every support, as will every member of the Oireachtas, to get these vacant flats back into the system, to get them renovated, get them refurbished and get them repurposed, so we can absolutely bring that level of accommodation that the people of Dominic Street West and indeed the people who have lived there in the future absolutely deserve.
Senator Fitzpatrick.
Minister, and I appreciate your reply, and the positive news in it is that both City Council and the Department, as articulated by yourself, recognise the potential, the real potential for 75 new homes of the highest standard and the highest quality, right in the heart of our city. I find it hard to accept, though, that the timeline involved here is going to result in a contractor arriving on site not before the first quarter of 2026. I appreciate the lofty ambitions that are expressed in terms of the digital twin study and the idea of creating a flagship project for climate resilience. These are all, objectives which are very admirable. However, I wonder at the time that is being spent in developing bespoke and lofty proposals like this. There is a real urgency. I don't understand what has taken the feasibility so long. I don't understand why this work wasn't being done in parallel with the construction of the new properties on the east side of the street. And Minister, I suppose I would ask you in your office, as you say, the misuse or the underuse of built homes is vandalism and is a complete dereliction of duty. I'd ask you to write to City Council and ask if they can accelerate the project.
Thank you, Senator. Minister Richmond.
Yeah, absolutely, Lasker. Look, I share the disappointment to some extent with the Senator, and I will undertake to ask my colleague in the Department of Housing and Local Government to write to Dublin City Council. I think realistically it would be more appropriate for them to write than me, but I will act as a conduit on that behalf, because I share your ambition for this part of the city. The capital is my home too, and I know how dedicated you've been to the project for a long time, and I think we all know that a large number of these flat complexes will effectively be rebuilt, and the biggest priority is getting them used for housing for people who need homes. So I'll absolutely undertake to speak to Ministers O'Brien, O'Donnell and have that correspondence sent on to Dublin City Council.
Thank you. Senator